Google has changed the rules of the internet search game, launching an attack on so-called content farms. Google last week tweaked its search algorithm, and already studies are showing that the shift is turning winners into losers. For more on Google's revamp, we welcome Duke University Director of Research Vivek Wadhwa. He's also a Bloomberg Businessweek columnist and the former chairman and founder of Relativity Technologies. Vivek is with us by phone this morning. Vivek, how long can Google really stay ahead of those who want to game the system? It reminds me of Wall Street and Washington. Washington changes the rules. Wall Street just finds a new way to get around them.
It's like drug pushers going from one corner of the street to another when the cops come in. So it's a losing battle right now.
It's a losing battle. Is the new algorithm working in the meanwhile, though? I've seen some results of studies that suggest some of the sites that used to end up at the top of Google searches are now down at the bottom.
Well, the concern that I have is that one of the worst offenders here, which is eHow, which is mostly garbage, is still at the top. So obviously Google has a lot more work cut out for them.
Vivek, you made this point about Google producing this sort of pile of trash results. I mean, how long does Google have to improve? I know even with this change to the secret sauce, Google even says only 12% of its U.S. search, so not even global search, is going to be affected. That doesn't seem like such an impressive tweak.
Well, look at the backlash when I wrote an article about it on January the 1st. I was astonished at how many people agreed with me. So what's been happening over the last 2 or 3 years is that the problem has been getting worse and worse and worse. The garbage has been getting piled up, and now suddenly everyone is beginning to say, hey, this is getting out of control. Google, do something or we're going to stop using you.
Vivek, this all seems to be about a business, an industry, if you will, called search engine optimization. And we've seen companies from JCPenney, for example, and the most recent example being Overstock.com, trying to do SEO and game the system. How big a market is search engine optimization?
It's billions and billions of dollars. That's where Google gets a big chunk of its profits from. And the sad thing for us consumers is that they're making money on us. It's like putting thousands of billboards up all over the highway because they want to make money. We're the ones who are getting lost over here.
So, Vivek, I mean, what about the competition out there? I mean, some point out Google's been losing this race for a while. Bing, I'm just mentioning that, from Microsoft, returning far less spam than Google. User satisfaction is higher. So, I mean, are there alternatives out there that just nobody is paying attention to?
Yeah, then there's some new entrants like a company called Blacko, and there'll be a few others that'll be announcing over the next few months. Have already been pre-briefed by a number of people. So this is what happens in the tech world, fortunately, that when you have one company that's set in its ways, like what happened with Microsoft, you had Apple and you have Google now, you have other entrants coming in and putting them out of business. So Google could be what Alta Vista used to be, if you remember Alta Vista.
I do remember Alta Vista. I think both of us do. But Deirdre just mentioned Bing. Bing clearly has a much smaller share of the search market than Google does. So long as Google does have whatever it is, 70, 60% of the search market, is search a business model for companies like Demand Media, for example?
It is for the next 1 or 2 years, but Demand Media is now what's happened is that Google is putting the spotlight on them. Everyone is putting the spotlight on them. They're going to be in trouble before you know it, because people are aware that they're polluting the web.
But what about the idea that people just stop using Google and start using more individual sites? This is sort of what we've seen with this whole social trend, checking in with Facebook. I don't necessarily want to Google hotels for a vacation I'm going on. Maybe I just talk to my friends about where they went. How much of this kind of activity is going to take a bite out of Google's bottom line?
That's a brilliant observation you just made. Absolutely brilliant, because my belief is that the biggest threat to Google is actually Facebook. Because when you're searching for a recommendation for where to eat or where to stay, you'd rather trust your friends rather than the spammers that are polluting Google. So if Facebook provides good search facilities, let's say they team up with Microsoft as they have, you'll increasingly go and ask your friends versus asking these spammers that Google is paying to pollute the web with. That's the funny thing over here.
All right, Vivek, thanks so much. That's Vivek Wadhwa, Research Director at Duke University, talking to us about Google's new search algorithm and recognizing Deirdre's brilliance.